Here we go. Welcome, welcome. So we're on Zoom and we're on Facebook Live in the Share and Build private group. And we have actually an open mic night. Any questions at all that you want to ask? Hey, Wanda, great to see you. So Wanda, today is open mic night. So go ahead, if you're on Zoom, you can open up your chat box and ask any question and I'll answer it. Wanda, you just type in any question that you might want to ask, all right? And while I'm waiting for some questions to come in, we've got a few people here. So I'm wondering if, let's see, Alina Hall, do you want to come over and say a few words? So one by one, you guys come on, or a couple people at a time. We're waiting for a few people to come on, and it's open mic night. So,
hello everybody.
So Alina, can I ask you a question?
Sure, Jen. You can ask me whatever you want.
All right, so we're making samples here. Here's Amy coming on. So it's open mic night, so put down any questions you want answered. And then we've got Sandy here too, right? So I'm going to ask Alina a question, all right? So the question is, if you were going to give somebody a sample of TerraShield, how might you approach them? Like what might be something that maybe a situation you were in the park with Jordy and you saw another family like just like swatting flies and things like that. Well, how would you maybe approach them?
I would, well, first of all, I would, are you role playing? Well, I would, number one, I would make sure to have my TerraShield with me and make a point to use it. And I just like just making connections well. I mean, it's easy for me to make connections at the playground because Rehka is usually interacting with the other children. Like he will literally like go over and like pull another kid and be like, play with me, and you know, most kids will. Yeah. And so at that point I want to like connect with their parents. So I'm already going to be having a conversation with somebody, and then I'm just going to pull out my TerraShield and buggy and use it, and then just offer it and just make it a natural interaction, because it would be rude to not offer. Yeah, right. That's all natural. And I would just make a point to mention probably how safe it is and use it on my baby, and so they would see, oh wow, because most bug sprays you cannot use on a baby.
Yeah, I love that. Especially, you know what, the other thing, Alina was telling me earlier, just not long ago, by the way, we're making samples here for Oil Club. Yeah. And you guys are going to hear more about Oil Club, but there's 6 of us in it right now, kind of trialing out something real special, and we're going to start spreading the news, all right? But there was a phrase that Alina said that she loves, this phrase, I'm just curious. So can you like repeat that and explain how you might use that to start a conversation?
Sure. I really like, because in the doTERRA world, we're used to getting really personal and talking about our health issues and going, you know, we'll talk about anything, but if people aren't part of that world already, that might take them off guard. And so I'm just curious as a way to let people know, because if you say I'm just curious, people are going to be like, oh, what's she going to ask? And then what you ask is probably not going to be as, I don't want to invasive, non-threatening as you might expect. So just, you would be surprised at how open people are if you start a question with I'm just curious. So like say I'm asking someone about like the business opportunity, I might be like, it might be rude if I was just saying, oh, does your husband's paycheck cover all your bills comfortably? Right? But but if we're having a conversation with finances, like about finances already, and I say, you know, I'm just curious, are you guys able to, you know, make it on the one income? Because not everyone is these days, or something like that. I think that would help break the ice a little bit.
Yep,
so that's how I would do it with the business. With the oils, it would be obviously different, but
that's so great.
Try it out. Try the phrase, I'm just curious.
I'm
this week and see what happens.
That's great. Yeah. Hey, Brittany. Hi, Chrissy. It's great to see you guys. So Sandy, yep, she's going to go and make some samples. So Sandy Norton is with us. And if you don't know Sandy, Sandy is a healthcare professional. So my question to you is, as a healthcare professional, how do you approach other healthcare professionals? How do you actually get a conversation started? What's the best way for everyone watching this?
Well, I actually had a doctor come up to me and ask me if I had any Digest-N, because he saw me sharing oils with other people in my office. So healthcare professionals can be a little sticky, but for the most part, the ones that I've shared with, I just found that they were open to natural remedies, and I think it's because it's becoming so much more mainstream now. So even doctors and nurses and people like that I work with, they seem to be more receptive now. At least the ones that I've encountered, and maybe it's because I'm always oiling everyone up around me, but yeah. So I just sample them just like I sample anybody else.
So use your oils in front of them.
I use my
sample
oils.
them.
I diffuse at my office, things like that.
Great. I love
see
that.
it and they ask about it. So.
Yeah. These are great colors on you. I like
Thank
that. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
So our next person, it's so exciting having all these people at my house today. So Sable Davis is the next person up. And Sable actually, you guys, I really challenged her. We were supposed to go canvassing the area on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
And they can't see you on Facebook. Sorry. I know it's like a weird area here. So unfortunately, I was not feeling well. By Friday night, I overdid it and I wasn't feeling well. So I knew that I needed to stay in Saturday and start using my oils. So here I left Sable. I'm like texting her, I can't make it. And guess what? She went out anyway. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience of dropping in on businesses and any advice you have for everyone who's on and also who will be watching the recording?
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it was when Jen called me and I felt bad that you weren't feeling well. I was looking forward to spending the day and having the meeting together. But we'll do it again.
Yes.
But of course, the first thought that always goes through your mind is, oh, I don't have to go, right? But I knew it. It's for me and my benefit. I'm building my business, and if I want to build my business, I need to do business building activities, even if they're on my own. So I just said, all right, I'm gonna still follow the plan that we had laid out. Got my samples, got my brochures, everything that I wanted, and went out on 4th Street. So I had dropped into a friend's business, and I ended up running into a lot of people that I knew. So having a lot of great conversations, reconnecting with people that I hadn't seen in a long time. One person who's going to reactivate her account.
That's awesome.
So also just dropping in on different businesses. It's a weird experience. For me, and I'm a very outgoing and social person, but it's just still outside of my comfort zone to walk in and go, hello, I want to talk with you about buying doTERRA essential oils, right? But I just did it very naturally. I've got a follow-up appointment tomorrow with one of the businesses that I dropped in, and several that want me to follow up this week and in a few weeks. So it was actually a better experience than I thought it was going to be. So for my first time, things I've learned, next time I'm going to plan more, some businesses or some areas where I want to drop in. It's, you always want to pick, well, for me in St. Pete, I want to pick an area that's not wholly commercial businesses, because our commercial business is going to be as amenable to maybe a single proprietor or a small business to be able to incorporate this into their business.
Yeah.
So those were some of my takeaways.
Yeah, that's great. And you guys, she only spent a little over an hour and got all these contacts and is reactivating somebody that she ran into. So sometimes it's just a matter of, we got to leave our house.
That's true.
I say that because sometimes I'm like, oh, I was going to go canvassing the area and I didn't go. And just leave your house and maybe plan on popping into one business and then maybe hanging out at a coffee shop. And in that, even by doing that, one business and one coffee shop, will maybe run into somebody at the coffee shop, and you also get a chance to practice going into businesses. So it doesn't need to be an hour if you're not comfortable with that. But if you ever need help, call on any of us. I'm happy to go with anybody in canvas businesses. I've done it many times. Is it comfortable for me? No, it is still not comfortable for me. It's that first, like, I got to think before I go in there and sort of psych myself up in my mind and say a couple little affirmations. I can do this. And in my mind, what am I going to say to them? And then I just walk in the door confidently, like Superwoman power pose,
Yeah.
but not overly arrogant, right?
Right. And out of the 5 or 6 businesses I walked into, 4 people want to follow up.
That's awesome.
So it was,
Yeah.
it was very, it's a great exercise. It's the worst that can happen.
And did you wear your button?
I forgot my button.
So what does your button say, Sable?
I remembered my button for my class today. It says, "Ask me why I smell so good."
Yeah, so if you want one of these buttons, we have them here. They're only $1, and they're conversation starters. So I ordered a bunch of them because for exactly that reason. If you wear it, people are more apt to be like, well, why do you smell so good? And it's a way for you to start engaging with people and just have those conversations. So they're only $1. I know, Sable, you've got some. I've got a bunch for sale. And we're just covering our cost, obviously. But hey, Lois, great to see you.
Hi, Lois.
All right, so those of you who are on, remember you can ask any questions. So you can type it in and ask any question you want so we can answer it. And I am going to ask you to send Natalia and Janet. I'm going to ask simple questions for them. Yeah. So, hey, Joan. Joan, do you have any questions for us? Yeah, simple things. So we have Natalia, and remember, I've got all these people at my house because we're working on Oil Club. Today's the first day of Oil Club, and we'll be telling you more about this. So this is Natalia. So I'm curious, Natalia taught last night on Everyday Essentials. So do you have any words of advice for those that would like to teach Sunday night but just haven't had the courage to do it?
Definitely have an outline and everything that you need, because what I just did is I had my laptop propped up and then my phone on it so I could just refer back. Like if you've seen the video, I'm constantly looking to the left, but it helps so much. And even if like people know like you're looking at it, like at least you're prepared. So definitely don't go into it with too much confidence. Well, be confident, but not too confident to where like you start tripping over yourself, because it's okay to always have that layout. Yeah, that's all I can say, because that's what I relied on so much.
That's great advice. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That's great.
Bye.
So Joan, you asked what's the topic. The topic is anything you want. So tonight is open mic night. So any question you want to ask, of course, regarding the doTERRA business. So that's why we're here. So now we have Janet here. So Janet, let's see. What question do I have for you? Oh, I know a really good one. So Janet has been teaching at the recreation centers, and Sable, her sister, and they teach every week at Bay Vista. So do you have any tips on teaching at a rec center?
Tips on teaching at a rec center. Well, each week you never know if there's going to be, sometimes we have 2 people, sometimes we have 8, 9 people. So I just try to be prepared. So for however many you have, and even if it's one person, then just be prepared to be able to sit and chat with that one person. Really, just make sure you have enough supplies for everybody. And yeah.
And then do you have a handout for everybody?
We always
class?
have a handout and a make and take at the rec center. Yeah.
And are they different topics, or?
Each week we do a different topic. We teach every Monday night, and we try to mix it up. Next month we're going to try to do some new stuff that we haven't done before. I haven't done a cooking class, and maybe Steve did, but so that'll be fun to do a cooking essential oils. We did a gardening and bug today, essential oils. Next week I'm going to do a relaxing class in essential oils and cleaning and the oils of the Bible. We just try to pick different things all the time, because we sometimes are having the repeat ladies come. We have repeat ladies, so we don't want to keep doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So we try to mix it up, and it's fun.
But it's building relationships, right?
Yes,
Which is
definitely.
What is I think relationships is in your top 5, right? Strengths, yeah. So you're really good at that. I already know that. But that's really great. It's all about building relationships. So when you see people over and over again, before you know it, they're going to want to buy from you.
Oh, yeah.
So we had a question come up, and Sable, you can come over too, because we're on this rec center. So the question is, how did you get started with the rec centers?
Jen made me do it.
I know you just stoop. Sorry, guys. I should have chairs here for my guests.
Hold the squat, right? Yoga pose.
So how did you get started? How did you approach them? How did you get
So
going?
I actually duplicated what Anique and Denise had been doing. They had been teaching there the year prior. They had stopped, and Jen and I were strategizing business building ideas for me, and something repeatable that I could do and was reliable for people to come to. And she suggested checking out Bay Vista, and I spoke with them. They were very excited to have the Essential Oils class back. And we just working with them, they've been wonderful. We got our background checks and all of that, and we just got set up with the administrators at the rec center.
And you teach every week, and how many people on your team are teaching?
Well, there were 3. Chris Holmes, Janet, and I started it, and Chris has followed her dream, and I'm so excited for her. She's a traveling nurse and headed out to Seattle. And if you're watching this later on, Chris, I love you and miss you. And so right now it's Janet and I, and we'll have Jen will sometimes come and guest speak, or we'll have different people we'll have come in, talk to, and guest teach. So yeah, it's been working out really well. We have a pretty consistent group that comes. Gotten a few enrollments. We've gotten a few other events from this. We're going to be doing a Bible study at one of the ladies' churches. So we're doing that. And then Janet was asked about doing an event, a garden club, but then an event as well.
And then an event with 300 people.
Did you guys hear this? They're getting referrals, like
this
people
stuff.
wanting to host classes and referring them to other organizations from the activity at Bay Vista, which only started in February, right? Yeah. So question came in, did you pay weekly to be at the rec center?
We don't. We actually, the odd part about that is we have to charge for our class. So it's we're with the city, so we charge $20 for the month,
the whole month.
So which averages about $5 a class. So we have a little less if there's more classes in a month, and it covers the cost of the make and take. That's why we do the make and take, because there's a fee. So we always want to cover, give them something for their class. And they love it. They always know. They always know what the make and take is that day for that class.
We let them know what it's going ahead of time.
So that's we started. I do Gulfport Recreation Center once a month, and I've been doing that for almost a couple of years now. And now Sable and Janet are doing Bay Vista, and now another person on my team is doing another Pinellas County Rec Center, and starting next week actually. It takes a couple of months to get the paperwork all through, so make sure that you're diligent about following up, because they're probably not going to follow up with you. So you just call and keep that process going until your background checks go all through and your fingerprinting. But these rec centers have been great. They're excited to have us teach. And I think they just really like the fact that they've got somebody steady there who they can count on as well. I have a feeling that sometimes people want to teach and then they don't follow up and they don't show up and things like that, because they've been very gracious. All of the centers have been very excited for us to teach. Now the big key is there you're not supposed to sell at the classes. So how do you get around that? Just to kind of wrap up our time here, how do you get around that?
Well, we had the conversation prior to the class with the woman that heads up the rec center there, and she actually enrolled with me.
She did.
And she's brought a lot of people in to join the class. So her she's like, okay, we're not selling the class. So what we talk about is when we talk about the oils and what we can do, and especially about taking them internal, we are specifically talking about doTERRA essential oils. We always say up front, we're wellness advocates with doTERRA. Whatever we talk about, we're talking about doTERRA. Please do not try this with other essential oils, because you're, A, taking them internally, B, the results and the quality. So we talk about doTERRA and the quality and the difference and all of that without standing up there doing an oil 101 class. We just kind of weave it in. And then each class we weave that in, so everybody that comes knows. We actually have people who are already wholesale customers with doTERRA now coming to our classes because they know we're teaching doTERRA. So
that's great.
And then after class, it's early enough, we can step outside and start talking. If they want to talk about our membership or how,
I would say if you're interested,
call them the next
see us.
day.
Let's make an appointment or
And some of these rec centers, you guys, they're getting so comfortable with us that they're fine is once the class is over, they're totally fine with us staying there and talking about the business with them. So that's the case with me with Gulfport, the same with you with Bay Vista. But first you have to build that trust with the rec center, and then to see kind of how that goes. So Joan, sounds like you're going to go and find yourself a recreation center to teach at. But that's a great way to just capture people. They do a little bit of marketing for you, and then of course you need to do some on your own. So, Well, we're out of time, you guys. This is a great open mic night. I'm excited about this. Maybe we'll have to do this in the future where it's just see what happens, right? Bye for now. Have a great night.
Bye. Always do it on an oil drop or an oil night.